And I think we're giving away something else today. Dr. Rod is with us today, and he has something special for you as well. So I'm going to stop talking so much, and I'm going to bring on Dr. Michael Rodriguez. Remember, our focus is on forgiveness, and that can be a heavy lift. If you've ever tried to forgive somebody, you know what I'm talking about, right? All right, and there he is, Dr. Rod.
Hey, Miss Denise, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Let me tell you, has he just made a mistake, people? He called me Miss Denise. First of all, that makes me feel old, and we don't want to do that. So how about you just call me Denise?
Absolutely, Denise, absolutely.
Okay, I'll allow you that one slip, but not two. Okay, so Sarah, one of my big fans, Sarah Noor, she's from Pakistan, and she's asking, how are you?
I'm doing well today. How are you, Sarah? Thank you for asking.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. All right, Dr. Rod, I don't like to waste time. I like to just get right in there. So my understanding is that you have a PhD in education. Am I right?
Yes.
Why PhD in education? What led you there?
Well, my journey is, I think, an interesting one. And it really began in the 6th grade, right? In the 6th grade, I was labeled as slow. Now, what was interesting, up until that time, I had no other label on me in my educational experience. But what happened was I embraced that label. I took that label and I carried it with me all through junior high, all through high school. And even after high school, I didn't go to college right away because I labeled myself as a kid who was slow. So therefore, kids who are slow don't do college. That's not what we do.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to have to slow you down right now. Okay, so here you are talking to us today, and you have a PhD behind your name. Now, everybody doesn't have that, okay? So you're already in a select group. So you obviously had quite a journey to get to this place, because we don't start out slow and then end up with a PhD in education. So I guess what I want to know is, like, what happened in that gap? Like, what it must be quite a story, but take us through it in pieces. How did you feel first when someone told you, oh, you're slow in 6th grade? Can you remember that first?
Yes, I can. I was devastated. And the way I got labeled was my school had 10 sections. It ran from 6-1 to 6-10. And 6-1 were the really smart kids. And 6-10 were the kids who were intellectually handicapped, who needed supervision. I tested into 6-9. And those were the kids who were troubled, had ADHD, who dyslexia. These were the kids who really, really struggled in school. And I got placed there. Now, what happened was I quickly realized what it meant to be a Section 6-9 kid. So I adopted the label of a 6-9 kid and started doing everything 6-9 kids do, right? Which is, we don't do homework. We don't study. We act out in class.
Because, but before then, Dr. Rod, before then, you weren't acting out in class and you were doing your homework?
No, I was a relatively good student. I struggled in a couple of subjects, but I was relatively a good student. And one of the things that's interesting, the students in our class, Section 6-9, honestly, we picked it up from our administrators. Because our administrators had...
I mean, I'm getting a little upset myself. I have to control myself during these interviews sometimes. Like, weren't you... I would be sad. I'd be angry, and I definitely would run home and tell mama or somebody, big mama or somebody. So what did you do?
I was emotionally devastated. I was hurt. I was disappointed. And speaking honestly, Denise, I was disappointed in myself. because I took a test the summer before sixth grade, and somehow I ended up in this section. What was interesting, the next year in seventh grade, they put me in 7-4. So something happened that sixth grade year that marked me as a Section 6-9 kid, and I was absolutely devastated. I carried that pain for years, that embarrassment. How could I be somebody who's a Section 6-9 kid? I thought I was a little smarter than that. I thought education was for me. And to find out in sixth grade, according to my teachers, the administration who had placed me in that section, that no, they were telling me, no, education's not for you. That's not your thing. I was hurt. And again, I carried that hurt for years.
And so you carried the hurt, and you carried, I guess, the effects of being put in that category. You know, the bad habits you picked up from other students, and the fact that there were no real expectations being put on you. It's like, oh, okay. Well, my life is going to be pretty easy because no one's expecting anything of me. How did you dig yourself out of that hole? You graduated from high school. I know that. And did you have a goal after high school?
I had no goal after high school. I squeaked through high school, and I was in the bottom of my class. But I squeaked through, and I decided, you know what? I'm not going to do much of anything. Maybe I'll join the military because, hey, there's something for me to do, right? And another part of my story is, honestly, I wasn't even accepted into the military branch I wanted to be accepted into, which was another hurt. Because now it's like, okay, I squeaked through high school. I'm looking for this opportunity to join the military in a particular branch. And then now I was denied that. Okay, so this is
that
real.
As well.
Absolutely. So now it's like, okay, I'm just going to live. I'm just going to hang out with some friends. I'm going to work part-time jobs. I'm going to live my life with no purpose, no expectation. I'm just going to live, and that's it. Because, hey, ultimately, that's what a guy like me does.
Okay. I'm curious about your background a little bit. So did you have anyone advocating for you? I'll tell you why this comes to my mind. I was talking to one of my daughters yesterday, and she says, "Oh, Mom, you would be up at that school." I don't really remember this. She said, "We come home and tell you something that happened or how we felt like we were treated unfairly. You would make a phone call or you would go up to the school." And I'm not a confrontational person, but I am my daughter's truest advocate. I absolutely will fight where I feel like there is a lack of justice, mistreatment. So did you have an advocate? Didn't have to be your parents, but some sort of advocate along this educational journey?
I didn't. I had wonderful parents. They were fantastic parents, but like many parents, if this is what the system tells you, they're going to believe it, right?
Okay.
Who do I believe? My 10-year-old son who took this test, and now look, this is where he is. Well, the system says this is where he belongs, so I guess this is where he belongs, and that would be best for him.
Okay, I understand. And it's very hard for a sixth grader, eighth grader, ninth grader to really advocate for themselves. You know, it's hard to push against that system. So I'm wondering if that is really what drove you to this specialty of education, wanting to right a wrong. Tell me about that.
You know, I think subconsciously it did. It really did. The way I started to transform was I ran into a high school friend of mine named Lee, wonderful guy. And I was coming back from a fast food job. I bumped into him. We had a conversation. It turns out he had graduated college, which blew my mind because what I thought was a couple of years turned out it was 4 years of me just working fast food jobs. He had a great internship, but really he started to pour into me because here's the thing, me and Lee lived on the same block. Now Lee was getting ready to work on Wall Street. right? As a 22 year
Literally
old,
Wall Street, literally in
yes,
New York City. Whoa.
yes,
Okay. Okay.
he was getting ready to work on Wall Street. At that time, he was going to make 80,000 a year based on his internship. He was doing well, and he saw me as somebody. Mike, we're from the same block. How are
Yeah.
you doing? He hit me with that question, and it kind of devastated me. Another shot to the chest. How am I doing? I'm working part-time jobs. I'm partying on the weekends. I'm not really doing anything with my life. And Lee was able to, we sat down that summer and really talked through some things. And I was able, through my discussions with Lee, to kind of see myself differently because Lee saw me differently. Lee never saw me as a Section 6'9" kid.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that was a real turning point for you. So how are you managing this anger? Was it a conscious anger against how you had been labeled by the educational system and how that put you on a certain trajectory? Or by then had you just so accepted it that you really didn't hold them accountable? You didn't hold anyone accountable.
I didn't know who to blame or who to hold accountable. It was just something that happened. I think part of me blamed myself because, again, I go back and I say, I'm the one who took that test, right?
Right.
I'm the one who I got myself into my situation somehow.
Yes.
And I carried that anger for a long, long time. And me transforming out of it, it began with that conversation with Lee because he saw me differently. And that allowed me to start seeing myself differently and started saying, wait a minute, if he can see me as something more than a Section 6'9" kid, well, then you know what? Maybe I can start seeing myself as something more than a 6'9" kid. And maybe I can start pursuing my dream of college because I always wanted to go to college, right? I just never had anybody kind of point me in that direction and really believe in me. And coming from a guy who was so successful, the same age as me, I said, wow, this if he believes in me, you know what? I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to jump out and I'm going to go ahead and believe in myself and enroll into college.
Oh, that's just tremendous. So that was your turning point. That conversation with Lee put an idea in your head, and the fact that you could identify with Lee, he's from your block, same age, all of that, same schools. It sort of helped you release. Can I say that? Helped you to release that disappointment in yourself?
Yes, what it did, it allowed me to step back and say, okay, I've been carrying a false label. I've been carrying a disappointment for, at this point, 8, 9, 10 years. It's time for me to let it go. It's time for me to let it go by not accepting it anymore. The emotional part at the beginning was still there. I was still hurt when I first started college, but the action that I took allowed me to say, you know what? Over time, here's some proof that I'm no longer a Section 6'9" kid. Hey, maybe here's some proof because I got into college and
Yes.
I was taking college courses, and that invigorated me and let me say, wow, I'm doing something a Section 6'9" kid normally doesn't do.
No,
Maybe I'm not a Section 6'9" kid.
Wow.
And from there,
that's powerful. That is so powerful. And I still feel that spirit in you. I think that 6'9" kid is still there, right? And it's saying, hey, you guys, y'all were all wrong. Y'all were all wrong because look at me now. Look at me now. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I fell in love with education. I went ahead, I got my bachelor's degree, I got a master's degree, and I met another mentor from my undergrad who kind of planted a seed in me to say, you know what, Mike, I think I could see you as Dr. Rodriguez. And it planted another seed that eventually allowed me to take the step to go out and pursue my PhD in education.
Wow. You know, you're making it sound easy, but I have viewers that would say, wow, that I wouldn't even know what to do next. I mean, how he's making it sound easy, but I know it's not easy. who did you lean on to give you some guidance so you would even know how to apply to college, or, you know, along the process? There are a whole lot of applications that have to be completed. You've got to find financial aid. How are you educating yourself about those things?
One of the things that speaking with Lee taught me was to, when you have questions, ask. So I started to reach out to people in my life, my older sister, my cousins, people who were there, who had already done this journey, right?
Yes.
Many of them became mentors to me over time, and was really started this idea in me that, you know what, if I need help, I can reach out. I can ask. I actively seek out mentors. But at that time, it was simply breaking down my walls of being ashamed and embarrassed because I didn't know, and go out and just ask. And funny enough, people love to help.
Yes, absolutely. You may have stepped in the path of people who were living their purpose being to support others and give guidance. So now take us to where you are today. You have found your purpose. You know, it was an evolution. And so tell us about that purpose. What are you into now?
Absolutely. I am the full-time director of a mentoring program for African American Latino males in Brooklyn, New York at Kingsborough Community College. I absolutely love it. I also do some mentoring outside my college work in the community. I have a mentoring program in Queens Village. I do some other mentoring for people one-on-one. It is really just, mentoring has transformed my life. So I try to use it to help other people.
So you're just giving back. And to sort of wrap up our conversation, as I told you, for the rest of the year, I'm focusing on forgiveness and healing. So would you say that this healing process that you've just described made the difference for you, and that it's important for other people to do this too? Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That healing process.
And what happens if they don't? Obviously I'm asking for your perspective.
If they don't, from my perspective, they'll be stuck doing the same thing, believing the same thing, just stuck in this cycle of unbelief. For me, it would have been a cycle of unbelief, no hope, desperation almost. Because without hope, without belief that you can do more, we're stuck with nothing.
Absolutely. So I understand that not only are you an educator, but you're also an author, right? So you've been doing a lot of writing along with your mentoring, just making all these different things happen. Tell us a little bit about the book, Suited for Success.
Yes, absolutely. I am a co-author in the book, Suited for Success. It is a work of 25 essays by 25 men who are sharing their stories. We're sharing who we are in little pieces of our life.
Okay, I'm going to put this in the comment section. Suited for Success. And this is volume 2.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you sent me a message saying, hey, I am so invested in this process that I want to share the book with one of your viewers, right?
Absolutely. I definitely want to bless somebody with a copy of that book.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to ask my viewers to do, as always, is to, of course, view and like the video. I'm going to transfer this over to YouTube. Leave comments. Comments are important, like, subscribe, the whole bit. And I would just randomly choose, because I don't know most of my viewers, so I don't have any bias. So we will arrange for someone to get an autographed copy.
Yes, okay. I am going to mail out an autographed copy of Suited for Success Volume 2. And also, Denise, can I bless somebody with another book that I wrote?
Wait a minute. 2 blessings? What are you talking about here? What else are you going to give away?
I wrote a book called Mentoring Myths. Unlocking 6 Common Myths to Help You Energize Your Thinking and Launch You into Overwhelming Success. It is a book that I believe firmly can help people overcome any obstacles that they have about mentoring, to help them reach out to people and connect with people and really kind of take themselves to the next level. And I'd love to bless somebody with a copy of that book.
Okay. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do then is have people send me, whoever it is that we choose, whoever it is that I choose, I will just get their information and pass it on to you. Okay. And we'll try to do that within the next 2 weeks or so. And I'm going to transfer this to YouTube. I'll just do a little editing and then I'll transfer it a little bit later, right? Okay, very good. Do you have any other words of wisdom before I let you go?
Well, what I would encourage people is to go out. One, if you don't have hope, connect with somebody who can provide you hope. Live your life to the fullest. You should never be afraid to take a chance, to step out, and to show the world how wonderful and awesome and beautiful you are.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. And where can people find you? What's your website?
My website is drrod.com, dr-rod.com. They can also find me on Instagram at Dr. Mike Rod, Dr_Mike_ROD.
Okay. All right. I'll make sure I put that in the comments as well. So thank you so much, and suited for success. We want everybody to be suited for success. Thank you for everything you've offered us today, and you have a great day. Okay.
Thank you so much. You too as well.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I am going to remove you from screen. There we go. So wasn't that helpful? I hope it was helpful. I know there's no one size fits all. And that's why I try to bring different voices, again, different faces, as we try to approach each of the themes of my channel, because I know that's important, right? You may not hear exactly what you need from one guest, but you might certainly hear it from another. So please subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notifications, and your comments and feedback are everything. So author Denise Hollingsworth signing off, and until next time, bye.